My name is Mark Carlson, and this is my Powell flute, which was made in 1966 and which I bought in 1970 when I was a senior in high school. I've played flute since I was 8, but I'm primarily a composer and I teach music theory and composition at UCLA, and I'm the founder and artistic director of a chamber music ensemble / series in Los Angeles called Pacific Serenades. Ethan Lynn Schwartz tagged me in his video 45 days before NFA and asked me if I would make a video talking about my teachers. It was an interesting request because Ethan was actually my last professional level student that I taught. And he told me that he was Roger Stevens' last student as well. Roger was my most important of many important, valuable teachers. My first was Mr. Hamilton, who was one of those people who taught all instruments, and I studied with him in elementary school and junior high school and partway into high school, at which time I graduated myself to studying with Paul Renzi, who was the principal flutist of San Francisco Symphony at the time. And then my family moved to Los Angeles, where I studied with George Drexler for a year before going out to college. My first year of college, I studied with a clarinetist at University of Redlands, Phil Rayfelt, who was teaching himself flute, and I learned a tremendous amount from him about tone production. And speaking of that, I want to back up to high school music camp, Pacific Music Camp, which I went to in 1967, and Carol Scott was our teacher, and she instilled in me this love of creating a beautiful sound as one of the most important aspects of flute playing for me as all of my years went on. When I was a sophomore in college, I started to study with Roger Stevens, and I didn't certainly realize it at the time, but his method of teaching just fell on fertile ground with me. First of all, the attention to detail, minute details that he would notice and bug me about, and whether that had to do with tone production. And again, I learned much from him about how to make a beautiful sound. And also technical things. He made me do all of those awful Anderson etudes up to speed without making a mistake. And also he was a wonderful musical coach. I learned so much from him. And he was so important to me as a teacher that when I had to leave University of Redlands and go to Fresno State for my last 2 years of college, I commuted from Fresno to Arcadia, where he lived, every 2 or 3 weeks for lessons. It was a 4-hour drive. And Nancy Wallace sometimes drove down with me for lessons with him, and other people who were studying other instruments. We'd come down to Los Angeles to make the rounds, and it was just, I feel very fortunate to have studied with him, and I stayed with him for a number of years, even after I graduated from college. He was just such an inspiration to me, and I will always be grateful to him. I would like to suggest a couple of my flutist friends continue this. People that I met in high school originally, Stephanie Jutt, Randy Hester, and Alan Cox. If you three haven't made these videos yet in celebration of the upcoming NFA, I'd love for you to do it and to talk about your important teachers. Thank you.